look who we got in the building. My goodness. Some good-looking people. Tito, Kamel. What's up, homie?
How you doing?
It's good, man.
How much?
Miss Diane Roberts.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Nobody knows who you are, man. Black Rooted Theater.
Yeah.
Nobody knows Black Rooted Theater. I mean, unless you actually know Black Rooted Theater. So what is Black Rooted Theater?
Well, it's actually Rooted Theater,
Right.
and it's a theater company that has a membership of Black artists and other diasporic artists that are working on creating a Black voice in Canadian theater, especially here on the West Coast.
Right. So tell us, it's the only black theater
It
company.
is the only Black theater company. There were a couple a few years back. But at the moment, this is the only Black theater on the West Coast.
Wow.
Oh, in Vancouver.
In Vancouver?
Yes, in Vancouver.
Well, West Coast, let's say, West Coast of Vancouver, let's say that.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to come back and talk to you, but what do you do for the company?
Well, I'm directing this production, and I have been working with the company just over the last year, I'd say. The company's been in existence for about 4 years.
Right.
But I just joined over the last year. I attended some of the readings of Black plays. That's how the company started.
Right.
The artists would gather and read Black plays from all through the diaspora. And I came in on one of those readings and then got hooked.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow. And my man Tito, I mean, you got the big thing. You the writer.
Yeah.
Because I know you got something that's coming up, right? There's a play that's coming up, Hellfighter, right? Now, what's that about, man?
It deals with a soldier who fought in World War I, a black soldier.
Yeah.
That was from New York, and the regiment, the 369th Infantry, went to go fight in World War I, and he's returning back after the war. Well, he has returned after the war, and he sees things differently.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that it deals a lot with people who are marginalized. He sees things differently. He's a bit isolated, and he comes into a time where the culture in Harlem was extremely progressive. They were trying to explore with the arts, all types, singing, dancing.
'Cause that's a Renaissance movement, man.
Yeah, it was a renaissance, a real bright spot in American history.
And you had to write about this dude.
Yeah. So I mean, it's quite the task, and definitely, I mean, with the people that I've been working with in Rooted, it's been an unbelievable experience. Everybody's contributed. Everybody's found. We've unearthed things that we didn't know about. So the play itself has taken on a shape that we wouldn't have perceived with at the beginning when we initially had the concept.
Now, what were some of the challenges though that you had to overcome or had to deal with?
Most definitely trying to keep everything relevant to the era.
Exactly.
Trying not to mix contemporary art with historical art.
Right.
Trying to make sure that the voices, that we're staying true to the voices during that period, and recreate the feeling of the time. Yeah.
So how did you keep your emotional side out of the whole show?
I think it's difficult to do that. I don't know if I did keep my emotional side out of the whole show. I think that a lot of creating something that is that people will like and people will identify with comes from putting a lot of your emotion into it. So I think that everybody has their own take on history, and everybody has their own take on how to interpret the story. And for me, without a doubt, I feel like I put a lot into it. I feel like I've taken a lot of the voices in Rooted and tried to recreate something that many people may not know about.
And as a director, now how do you keep everybody happy and make sure that you're still, like you said, staying true to the meaning of the story?
Well, it really is a collaborative process.
Yeah.
I pride myself as a director on being very collaborative in the rehearsal hall. Some directors are very directive. They say, you go there, you do that, and say it like this. but I really value all of the contributions of the ensemble, like Tito was saying earlier.
Yeah.
And there's such talent in this group. I mean, in a way, it feels like we're recreating that Harlem Renaissance here in Vancouver, because this is a group of artists who have been working in the business, but don't often have the opportunity to work together.
Right.
There aren't enough projects in Vancouver that allow us to work together, to collaborate together. So we're just taking advantage of every opportunity and using all the talents, everything that people contribute.
There you go. Now, when you had to find the talent, though, I mean, how hard a process was that?
Well, I was really lucky because Marsha Regis,
Yes.
the producer and founder of Rooted Theatre, she did a lot of the casting ahead of
Okay.
time. And there have been people that have been working with the company and growing with the company over the past 4 years that it's been in existence.
Yeah.
So I was able to really inherit a group that has already been working together, and that's just a gift for a director, to be able to slip into that process and help to shape it
Right.
into its new era.
There you go. Now, and as a writer, when you write, did you write for when you knew who the cast was going to be? Now, when you started writing, were you saying, "Oh man, I got to make sure that I'm writing to make sure this dude can actually get to this stuff," or did you just say, "No, I'm just going to write it and let him speak, let him say it"?
I think there's a bit of both. I try to keep it so that I'm staying true to the characters within the script and not put faces to them. But because I know who's going to be playing the parts, I believe that that's added some extra voices to the script and made it more, I guess, well-rounded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm going to get you down the grind question, man, for both of you.
All right.
Being on the grind, man, it's a tough role because I know how long it probably took for y'all to get this thing up and running. All the people that's out there, they want to be the director. They want to be the writer of something. But they're not getting any love from anybody. They put their screenplays out, nothing. No auditions, no nothing's coming. What can y'all tell them to inspire them to stay on the grind, to be the next Tito Kamel or the next Diane Roberts? What can you
Well,
tell them?
I would say do it. Do it for themselves, not wait for somebody else to give them the opportunity,
Right.
but do it and pull a group together of artists and collaborators that you like working with and just put it out there, because really it's all about practicing the skill. And if you're sitting and waiting for somebody to give you the opportunity, your skills aren't going to be honed when you get that opportunity.
Right.
So it's best to just keep doing it and finding opportunities to work with other people that you admire. And I mean, for a lot of young artists, I recommend that they apprentice, that they come in and sit in. We have artists in this production that are new, up and coming actors, as well as really seasoned actors, so the ensemble learns from each other. So don't get caught up in, oh, well, you know, this project doesn't fit my ego or whatever, but really be there, just to be there, and keep practicing your skills so that when you have the opportunity, you're at the best.
And you're ready.
Yeah, you're ready.
Nice. That's well said.
Yeah, I mean, that's very similar to the way that I see it.
Yeah.
I suppose a really big thing is to ask yourself the question, what you want before you get started, not go headlong into something and be whisked around, and then before you know it, it's been 5 years and you've been doing something. Maybe you haven't considered creating your own work and finding that group, but it's been 5 years, you look back and you say, this isn't what I wanted to do, this isn't where I thought I would be.
Right.
So if it is your objective to, you know, try to be a published writer, try to make works that will get published. If it is your objective to work with people that you like working with, and create something with these people, and, you know, let that have its own life, then that's your path. For me, I've worked with several of the people in this cast, in this production, on other projects.
Yeah.
Marsha Regis, who's the founder of Rooted Theatre, as Diane mentioned, was in a short film that I made a couple of years ago. And shortly after that, she asked me to join Rooted. So yeah, working for me personally, I like to I like to get along with people.
Right.
And if we could get along and if we could make a good environment to create a project out of it, then that makes it all the more better, makes life
Makes
that
it
much
easier.
more. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, when is it playing? What day?
It's June 14th.
June 14th.
At 8 p.m. at the Review Stage, on Granville Island.
Okay, how can you get tickets?
You can get tickets on the website, rootedproductions.com.
Nice. And what's going to be next for you guys after it's all done? Quickly, what's going to be next?
For me, this project's opened my eyes to a few different areas, and I think I'm going to really focus on doing a lot of, at least for the time being, I've been doing a lot of writing, and I feel like I haven't been doing that much reading, so I want to do a bit of research into a specific character that that was a Hellfighter. So
Nice.
I want to look into his past a bit more.
So you're thinking about a sequel?
I don't know about a sequel, but something that's definitely connected to it would interest me.
Okay, nice.
And for me, it's just basically, I run another company called Urban Ink Productions, and I'm just wrapping up my 7-year term with the company.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, I'm just...
Nice. I want to thank you guys for coming, man.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Tito, Kamel, man. Oh, I'm missing you.
You're missing the dabs.
Miss Diane Rock.
Thank you so
Thank you for
much,
coming.
Valentine. Yeah.
And make sure y'all go out and see it June 14th at
the Review Stage.
the Review Stage in Granville Island. Make sure y'all go out and see that. I want to thank my guests, Darlene Ketchum and my man Calvin, for coming out. Tito Kamel, Diane Roberts, Rooted Theater. Make sure y'all go see Hellfighter. If you think it's your time to shine, you need to get on the ground with your man Valentine, baby. You know how we do it. We are so gone.